Okay, guys, we are live. Guys, please mention in the live chat, am I audible or not? Okay, I think now the audio must be clear. So let's begin. Okay, so hey everyone, I'm Harshal Jain, your mentor at Geeks for Geeks. And आज थोड़ा setup भी change किया हमने. So please comment below that how is my setup looking right now. Okay, and in this video we are basically going to continue with our MERN file sharing project. So in the last few videos, we have covered some things like we have covered the complete node backend part, and we also covered the database part, front end part. Socket was also covered, Socket for real-time communication. But today, what I wanted to show you is how you can host these kind of MERN projects. So first of all, remember one thing, when we started this project, we used local storage for storing images. That means we used Multer in the backend for storing the images. But the problem with that is, suppose if there are thousands of users who use your platform, all of those images, videos, which would be really bigger, some 4K videos, 8K videos might also be shared. All those data would be actually shared, first of all saved to your database, first of all saved to your backend. Okay, so data would be first of all saved to your backend. That means all the images, videos would be saved to your backend inside the public folder, right? This is a very big problem because as the data increases, your backend size would also increase, and that's not sustainable, right? So for that, guys, basically what we're going to do is we are going to use Amazon S3 storage. Okay, so the purpose of Amazon S3 storage is like you are using Multer for storing files locally, right? In your Node.js backend, you are using Multer for storing files in the public folder of Node.js backend, right? This increase the backend size. So what we are going to do is we are going to use Amazon S3 storage as a third party tool which is going to store all of our files and videos and everything. We're going to generate some link from there. That link would be used in our database, or we can say we're going to use that link in our backend for further processes. Okay, so if you don't know S3, what you can do is you can just watch this video. But what I would suggest is I would share some of my videos which I have already taken so that you can get some overview. Okay, what's the purpose of S3 and how to use S3, and before that how to create an AWS account and how to use IAM in AWS. These are some very important things, and I have created some videos on my channel, so I'll share some insights of that also from where you have to look that. Okay, so now guys, let's continue with today's session. And first of all, I'm going to explain the S3 part, what we are going to do with S3, the setup part. Okay, and then guys, we are going to jump into our code. Okay, so let's begin. Okay. Right, so guys, I hope now my screen is also visible, and let me just share my camera. Okay. So guys, in the live chat, please mention that am I audible, still audible, and I've changed my camera right now. So please mention that because I'm trying some new things with my setup. Okay, so this is the first time I just changed this camera from here to here. So that's why a little bit of things are here. Okay, so please mention in the live chat, am I audible enough and am I visible properly or not? If there is some issue, we're going to continue with solving that issue, or else we're going to continue directly. Okay, I think now, yeah, I think now it's fine. Let me just check into my mobile. Yes, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. Right. So guys, now first of all, what I'm gonna do is to know about S3, what you can do is you can directly search on YouTube. You'll find a lot of S3 tutorials, but I have taken some specific playlists and recently I've uploaded the videos. So I'm gonna show those. What you can do is you can just check out this channel, Coders Up. This is my channel. In the playlist, guys, what you would find is you would find an AWS playlist. Okay, inside that I have explained properly what's exactly S3, what's IAM. So recently I've uploaded these videos because I was also exploring AWS properly. Okay, so you can check out this to know the proper usage of S3, what are the settings which you must keep. But today we are going to give it a fast pace. Okay, we are going to follow the exact same steps which I've explained in these videos, but we're going to follow a fast pace so that we can finish in 1 hour. Okay, so let's do that, guys. So first of all, you need to create AWS account. That's also explained in that playlist. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to AWS. Okay, if I type AWS, you can see that we have Amazon Web Services. Okay, just a second. Sir, will now use full screen because it feels same as my PC. समझा नहीं मैं सर. I will now use full screen. Can you please elaborate? I didn't get what you're trying to say. Okay, anyways, so here you can see that if you visit AWS, you have to create a free AWS account. That's totally free. Okay, what you can do is you can check out the playlist which I shared right now. You can just check out there and you'll understand that how to create a free AWS account. Okay, so I'm just gonna sign in directly and you can follow the exact steps. You can just save this video for future. This is an account which is going to be free for 1 year. Okay, this AWS account is free for 1 year, so you can store a lot of things here if you want. Okay, will we be using free tier or with some money? We are going to use free tier of AWS for 1 year. It's going to be free. Okay, or if we go for free one with okay no AWS or with free one. Why am I using AWS? Because this is a very good project. File sharing app is a very good project, and you can also launch a startup of some kind of things using this specific logic of file sharing app. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to show you an approach. I could have used cyclic.sh, which I talked about in previous videos, but the problem with that is it would just make you a lot of limited. Okay, and similarly for storage we can use cloudinary, but still it has a lot of limitations and I don't want you to be limited with this specific video. That's why I'm using S3 for storing our image, video and PDF files so that you get faster results. Okay, first of all, if you're sharing files with someone using this application, it's gonna be fastest because we are using AWS. Okay, so that's why I am using AWS. That's totally up to you. You can use some other storage also. You can use Cloudinary instead of this S3. That's also fine, but it would take you some charges. So S3 is always best, and for 1 year you're getting free storage. Okay, so that's why I'm using this, right? So I'm gonna use the free one. Don't worry. For 1 year, it's totally free. Okay, so I'm just gonna log in with the account which I created in AWS. Okay, so the account which you have created will always be the root user. Okay, so in AWS you have to create an account. You can check out the playlist which I shared you. You'll understand how to create a free AWS account. It would require you a credit card. Okay, it would require you a credit card, but that credit card must be a Visa one. Okay, I tried RuPay credit card, but it didn't work. So you have to use a Visa credit card. Okay, so for that you can just search for, I use the Amazon's ICICI credit card. It's Amazon's card only, Amazon Pays card. So you can use that kind of card. You can borrow with someone. Okay, मेरा बस नहीं लेना यार क्योंकि मैं वैसे ही बहुत कर्जे में हूँ. ठीक है, so yes, so yes, you can just use any kind of credit card while using the account, while creating the account. Okay, so I'm just going to log in directly, assuming that you have created the account. From here I'm going to explain everything. Okay, so right now you can see that this is the console which you usually see. Okay, right now you can see that the default location here is Mumbai. Okay, but I would always suggest choose the nearest one. Okay, so that's why I have chosen the Mumbai location. If you don't find the nearest one, you can just check out the nearest here. Okay, by default, if it's not there, it might be USA or some other location, so please make it the nearest one. Okay, so that it's fine. Okay, and always stick to this location. It's not about S3. If I talk about other things, if you are using EC2 or any other thing, you're gonna need the specific location so that your data is safe. Okay, S3 is for like photo, video, PDFs, right? Yes, it's for photo, video, PDFs. You can store anything. अब जो स्टोर करना हो. Okay, so whatever website you got thinking about, like if I talk about general websites like YouTube or any other website, they are using storages like S3 or any faster storage. Okay, so in most cases, if they are not building their own storage, they are using S3, because I think S3 is the fastest. But if I not talk about AWS, mostly I use AWS for handling all the backend part and storage part. But instead of that, you can use Microsoft Azure also. That's also great. But personally, haven't used that, so I'm gonna not gonna comment on that. You can stick with AWS for now. Okay, so you can see that here, guys. First of all, you get the option of S3. If you don't get this option, what you can do is you can just search for S3. Okay, you have S3 here. But before that, first of all, let me create a user. Okay, let me create a user. So I'm just gonna go to IAM Identity Manager. Okay, why am I using this IAM Identity Manager? It's gonna create admins for my account. Right now, I'm the owner of this account, right? I'm the owner of this account. But the problem is I might do something which would ask me for some billing, okay, which would cost me some charges. I don't want that. So I would be creating some sub admin which is going to handle all the things for me. And if he has done something which he didn't get permission of, so the task would be rejected. Okay, so I'm always playing safe. That's why I'm using IAM for creating a sub admin. I'm gonna say that this is my employee. This employee would be doing tasks for me. I'm not going to do anything with my root account. Okay, let's create that. You can watch the proper playlist there. You'll understand IAM also. So here you can see, guys. Okay, let me just search for IAM. If you search for IAM, and you can see that we have a lot of things here. Okay, if I go to Identity Center, you can see this is the Identity Center, and the other part is what? If I search one more time, manage access to AWS resources. Okay, yeah, this specific one. Okay, this specific one. But yeah, another question, please. S3 is being used for the whole project deployment or just for storage? Just for storage. For front end, I'm going to use Vercel. Okay, and for the back end, we'll see that either we can use Vercel or we can use EC2. I'll explain the backend upload in the next part. Right now we are just using it for storage. S3 is only for storage for today. Okay, in the next video I'm going to explain how we can host the front end. Hosting the front end, which is in our Next.js, it's very easy. We're going to use Vercel for that. But the main question is hosting the backend. Your backend is very important, right? Your backend is created in Node.js. So either we will be using EC2 in AWS, or we would be using Vercel, which is again free. But if you are using EC2, guys, I need one suggestion in the comment section or in the live chat. Should I use EC2 for hosting the backend, or should I use Vercel? If you want to use EC2, we need to purchase a domain, HTTPS domain. Okay, we need to purchase that. Okay, so please mention that what you want. You want to spend some money. If you can spend some money, then I would be using EC2. Okay, because by default EC2 is HTTP and we have to make it HTTPS. So for that we need a domain with SSL certificate. Okay, so please mention that whatever you feel, and we'll see that later. Okay, right now you can see that we have IAM, and here you can see that right now we have one users. Initially you would see things are empty. What you need to do is, here you can see that my account alias is Harshal Jain root. Okay, I can change this. Okay, I can change this. By default it won't be here. Okay, I'll just delete this for now. Okay, I'll just delete it. You can see by default when you create an account you would see something like this. Okay, so if I click on create, and I'm just gonna name it anything. Okay, no, we need free. You need free. Okay, so I'll try to do it with Vercel. But yeah, it has some limitations. Uh, the results would be slow. Okay, results would be slow, and yes, only one problem is here. Result would be a little bit slower. It would be fast, but a little bit slower. Okay, anyways, it would be free only. So Vercel is totally free. We're gonna use that, or let's check out. नहीं भैया Vercel ही औकात में Honestly, बताऊं, so I have never purchased a domain for myself. Even I have used some free resources. Okay, so if you know some resources where you can get free domain, please mention that also, because I used a website, तो नाम भी भूल गया हूँ, which gave me free domains, but right now it's not working. Okay, so you can mention in the comment section what are some websites which I can use for getting free domains. Okay, so it would be easier for all of us. Okay, or else have to use Vercel. Vercel by default gives free domain, but we have to host the backend there only. Okay, we can't host backend separately. That's why. Okay, so you can mention some websites where I can just get domain, like GoDaddy gives you domains but it's paid. Okay, similarly you can mention website which gives free domain, so that it's easy for me. Okay, so yeah, here I'm just gonna name it as something like, I'm the owner. Okay, I'm the owner, so I'm just gonna name it like Harshal Jain root. Okay, root is the owner. Okay, so I'm just gonna create alias, right? So this is very important. This must be unique. Okay, this must be unique. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to users, and here you can see we have one user. Okay, so I'll first of all remove everything from here. Okay, I'm just gonna erase the policies also. Here you can see we have policies, right? I'm just gonna delete any policy which I have created. So I'm just gonna go to customer manage. I'm just gonna delete it from here. Okay, right now I'm just deleting this policy. I'm just gonna name the policy. Okay, this is very annoying. Okay, you have to just type the whole thing. Anyways, so I'm just gonna delete the policy from here. Okay, now the policy which I created some time ago, it's deleted. Initially you won't see anything. When you create an account, you won't see anything. You are free. Okay, similarly I'm just gonna delete a pre-existing user group so that there is no confusion. Okay, so now I'm just gonna delete this group also. It's free to host for backend domain. भैया रेलवे कैसी है? रेलवे रेलवे मतलब I didn't understand railway matlab is it some kind of website name or what's railway specifically? Railway link share कर सकते हो? I think you might be talking about some website, right? Link, can you please share the link of that website which you are talking about? Okay, so yes, you can see initially when you go to IAM, what you would see is there is no user group. Okay, and I'm also going to delete this user also. बहुत मचा के रखा है I know मैंने, but I have to delete it. Okay, backend hosting site. Okay, I have to check it. Anyways, you, because initially I used something like no name or something, website was named as no name, something like that. So I use that for getting free domain, but right now it's not working in India. That's why I have to shift to Vercel, or we have to purchase the domain if we don't get free domain. Okay, so yes, so initially when you go to IAM, you can see there are no user groups, there are no users, there are no roles. Okay, you would see some default roles here. These are default ones. If you don't see anything, that's also fine. In the policies you won't see anything like custom manage. Okay, so you can see it's fine. Now what we need to do is I'll just go to policies. Okay, I'll just go to policies, and here I'm just going to click on create policy. Okay, create policy. Here you need to choose a service. So right now let's assume we are only going to use S3, but we are also going to use EC2 in future. So here it's asking for permissions. What actions? I'm just going to say all actions are allowed: read, write, update, whatever are there. But if you are being specific, you can check out some specific actions. And I think it's fine. I can just go with all. Okay, here also all resources. If I click on next, you can see that you need to give this policy a name. So I'm just going to name it as bit share. Okay, bit share policy. Okay, so that I remember this bit share policy. You can give a description, and actually I would just okay, I'll just create this policy for now. Okay, so you can see guys that now I created this policy. So here you can see we have customer managed. Okay, here you can see bit share policy. Perfect. Now suppose if I want to edit this, I can simply go to edit, and suppose I want to add one more permission, so I can add a few more permissions also. Okay, so here you can see this is for S3. If I go back, okay, if I go back here, what I need to do is, okay, if I click on edit, I think I might get, yes, you can go for visual. Okay, visual. Here you can see add more permissions. Here I would select EC2 also. EC2 for hosting Node.js backend. If in future we are hosting Node.js backend, EC2 would be important. Okay, so I'm just gonna create, I'm just gonna select all things here, and all here. Okay, and now if I click on next, you can see that this is also added. So save changes. Okay, so guys, if you are feeling confused, you can watch that video again, this video also, or you can check out the playlist which I shared in the initial part of the video. You can check out that playlist also, AWS playlist. So here you can see that we have created the bit share policy in the policies, right? You can see it has two permissions, EC2 and S3. That means I just created a policy कि आपके मरने के बाद आपके फैमिली वालों को 50 लाख मिलेंगे. ठीक है, I created a policy. Okay, so EC2 and S3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create user group. Okay, so for creating a user group, I can simply click on create group. Okay, I can just give it a group name. I'm just going to say that bit share, something like that. Okay, bit share, what you can name it anything. Okay, bit share users. Okay, or uh, better I would just write admins. That would be better. Okay, so it's only for admin rights, it's not for customers. Okay, it's only for admins. This management is only for admins. Okay, it's like I'm the owner of the company, I'm the root. I can create multiple admins who are gonna manage my EC2, who are gonna manage my SC. So I'm giving them permission. So right now I'm just creating group of those. Okay, I'm just gonna say bit share admin. Here what I'm gonna do is I can just right now you can see there are no users. Let's skip that. First of all, here you can see that we have customer managed. We just now created this policy. You can see this is the policy which just created, right? So I'm just going to select this. Right now we don't have users, so you're not going to see any users. We'll do that later on. So I'm just going to create group. Okay, so create group. You can see now the group is created. Let's go to users. Let's create a user. Okay, I'm just going to name this user as, suppose this is some of my employee. Okay, this user is suppose my employee. So I'm just going to say Viraj Jain admin. Okay, I'm just going to name it something like that, so that I know that this is the admin, this is an admin. Okay, so username, and I'm just going to give it some proper permissions. I want to create an IAM users. I want to generate a custom password. Right now I'm just going to provide a random password because later on we have to change this password. Okay, so right now I'm just going to provide it password like uh, capital HJ at the rate 123456, some normal password. Okay, later on this Viraj Jain admin would log into the admin dashboard and would change this password. Okay, just remember this. So right now just remember this password, don't forget this, else this user won't be able to log in for the first time. Okay, later on this user can change this password as per their own demand. Okay, so right now I'm just saying that, and you can just select this if you want, or you can skip this. Okay, user must create a new password. If you want the user to admin to create a new password as soon as they log in for the first time, then you can select this. I'm just gonna select it because I want to create a new password when this admin logs in. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on next. You can see that now what we need to do is it's asking for which group you want to add this user to. I'm just gonna select this group. Okay, that's it. Now if I click here next, you can see that this is the review create user. Okay, so you can see guys, now if I go to users list, okay, you can see that now in the users we first of all have this Viraj Jain admin. Now if I go to the groups, you can see now if I go to groups, you can see automatically this group would come here, and this group has this user. Okay, you can see we have this user inside this group. Okay, it's like a WhatsApp group. Okay, interlinked. User is inside WhatsApp group, group is having the user. Okay, both things. Okay, so now you can see that, yeah, basically we have this user. Inside this user you can see that what are the policies, how this policy came, since we assigned the group, so this group was having the custom policy which we made, right? So that's why in permissions we got that policy. Now everything is fine. Inside this policy I have said that whoever has this policy, access to this policy, can use S3 and EC2 of my AWS account. Okay, that's what I've said. That means this employee Viraj and admin can now have access of S3 and EC2. Perfect. Done. Now let's try to log in with this user. Okay, so first of all you can go to IAM. This is the root name. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this name. Okay, and let's sign out from here. Okay, and I'm going to log in with the admin which we created just now. Okay, I'm not going to work on my root user. We're not going to never do this with root user. Okay, now we are going to just manage our AWS account with the help of the admin which we created. Okay, only billing part must be done by root user. If you are doing some normal job like handling EC2 or S3, okay, you just create an admin and do those things with the help of admin. Okay, so I'm just going to log in with the admin now. Okay, not with the root user. So here I'm just going to select on IAM. Okay, here we need to add the root ID. Okay, root user ID, very important, and this must be unique. Okay, when you write the root ID. Okay, so you can see now after that what you need to do is here you need to select the username. So I'm just going to select the username as Viraj Jain admin. Okay, that's what we created, right? Viraj Jain admin. Now you need to add the exact password which this owner gave. Okay, which this owner gave. What was the password? HJ at the rate 123456. I'm saying the password because you remember what is the password when you set the password. Okay, that's why. Okay, so I'm just clicking sign in. Okay, you can see as soon as you click on sign in, now you can see that this is the AWS account. I'll delete this user later on so that no one else can do these things. Okay, but right now I'm just showing you some details so that we can see things. Okay, later on I'll delete this. Never share these details to anyone. Okay, or anyone can easily log into my AWS account. Okay, without my permissions. Okay, so right now old password. Okay, so old password would be what? So I'm just gonna say old password was whatever user gave at j at the rate 123456. This was the password which admin, which root user gave to this specific admin, right? Now we entered the old password. Now we can enter our fresh new password. This admin is gonna have the new password as per his choice. Okay, so I'm just gonna select one password. Okay, I'm not repeating this password because else you'll hack this one. Okay, so I've just selected my own custom password. मन में सोच लिया और मैंने डाल दिया, ठीक है, एंड दिस वाज द पासवर्ड विच फर्स्ट टाइम रूट यूजर गेव to this admin. Okay, done. Now if I click on confirm password change, you can see now I am logged in as Viraj Jain admin. Okay, now what access do I have? I have access of S3, right? So if I go to S3, you can see that everything is fine here. I can do things here. If I go to some other storage, if I go to some other service like EC2, I gave EC2 permissions to this user, so you can see EC2. So you can see that I have permissions of EC2, right? You can see that, yeah, I have permissions of EC2. Now after that, guys, you can see that we have Lambda service also. There is service named as Lambda. If I go inside this, you would see that access would be denied. Why? Because in the policy we only mentioned EC2 and S3. Okay, and this user Viraj Jain admin is following that policy, right? That's why we don't have access to Lambda. So you can see for Lambda operations are banned. Perfect. I hope now things are a little bit more clear. Now guys, I'm just gonna log in with the root user only. Okay, so I'll just sign out from here. Okay, and now I'll just log back in with the root user, because we have to create an S3 bucket. Okay, so for that you need root rights. Okay, for managing things you can log in with normal user, but for creating things, creating important things like S3 bucket or different things, we have to log in with root user. Okay, so I'm just gonna go as a root user now, not as an admin. So root user, and here I'll just add my root details. Yes. So yes, now I'll just sign in. This is my root user, right? So now guys, we are going to create what? We are going to create a S3 bucket. Okay, so let's go inside S3. Okay, if I search for S3, you can see this is S3. Okay, just search for this. Can see now we are inside S3. Perfect. Now here I have already created a bucket, so let me just delete this old one. You would see empty things. I'm just gonna delete this. Okay, so I think it has some files here. Emptying the bucket deletes all objects. I think now it must work. अरे यार, if your bucket contains okay, I'll just delete things from the bucket first. Okay, so that we can start fresh. Okay. अरे यार, बार बार लिखवाता है permanently delete. Just give me a minute. Delete objects, and you can see that now it's deleted. Now if I close this, yes, now my bucket is empty. Now I'm gonna delete this old bucket. If you don't have this, then you are good to go, but right now I have to delete old ones so that I can create a new bucket. Okay, so I'll just delete this bucket. Perfect. So when you load the S3 page, you would see something like this. For the first time when you create the account, you would see something like this S3 page. Now first I need to click on create bucket. Here I need to name this bucket. Okay, whatever name you want to give. क्या नाम दे दे इसको we can give it name like bit share bucket, right? Bit share bucket. What is a bucket? Bucket is like a specific hard disk where you can store your image videos. You can have multiple hard disk in your computer. Okay, multiple drives in your computer. Specific hard disk, specific drive is allocated for this bit share application. Okay, that means you're going to store all of your images, videos, PDF, Excel file, whatever documents you have inside this bucket. That means all types of files can be stored inside this. Okay, so now if I've just named it. Okay, now what I need to do is this must be okay. Okay, this is fine. Now here you can see block all public access. This must be checked. Okay, because I don't want any random person to have access of my bucket to upload things to my bucket, else they would upload any random thing. Okay, so just block all public access. Okay, now one more thing, you can see bucket versioning. I'll just leave it as it is, and you can see that everything is fine. Okay, everything is fine. Now if I click on create bucket, what you would see is your bucket is now created. Fine. Now guys, once this bucket is created, here you can see that right now it's empty. Okay, so let's try to upload something here. Okay, so I'll just click on upload, and here you have to upload any file from your computer. Okay, so I'll just click on add files. Okay, so by the way, today we are having a session on chat GPT, so let me just show you that session also. Just a second. Okay. Yeah, you can just visit this channel, Geeks for Geeks main channel. Here you would see the live session at 9 p.m. today. We are having this session. Okay, so please be ready, and you can see that, yeah, already we have 41 likes here. So yeah, just watch this session. This is also very great session. We're gonna use OpenAI's API key to generate text, okay, by Chat GPT. So yeah, this is going to be very fun session. You can watch this session upcoming in the Geeks for Geeks main channel. Okay, so yes, now let's continue. Okay, so here you can see we have this. I'll just click on add files. I'm just gonna select this no user file for now. Okay, I'm just going to select this. Okay, now you can see that this file is there. So just select this. You can upload multiple files also, but for now I'm just uploading this single file. And remember this name, okay, untitled design, this would be the key name, okay, this is known as the key name, okay, key name of the file. Okay, so right now it's there. You can see that. Now if I click on upload, can see guys, now it succeeded. So if I close this, you can see that in my bucket I would see this file now. Okay, I would see this file now. Okay, so if I go to buckets, you can see here, you'll see all the buckets. This is the bucket which we created. I'll go inside this, and inside this you can see that we have untitled design 3.png, right? So in the permission, first of all, this must be enabled. Okay, I'm just reminding you again, block all public access. We are not giving any public access to this bucket. Why? Because we don't want any random people to have access to my S3 bucket and upload things or download things from my S3 bucket. Okay, so yeah, I've just made it block all public access. There's no bucket policy for now. Everything is fine. You can see everything is fine. Okay. Later on we have to enable codes, so we'll do that later on. But right now everything is fine. Okay. So I'll just go to properties, objects, and here you can see we have this image here. Now guys, you can see that we have this URL. Okay, we have this URL. Okay, so if I click on this URL directly, you won't see anything because we have blocked public access. That means you can't access this image directly, or you can't upload anything to this bucket directly. Right now we are trying to access the image, we can't see the image. Okay, so if you are seeing this, that means your bucket is private, it's not public. So that's great. That must be very good thing. Okay, because if it's private, that means you can assume it like you can't watch Netflix videos without subscription, right? Similarly, you can't have access to this private bucket without any authorization. Okay, I hope you're getting this. That's why we made it private. We don't make it public. Public is like you watch any YouTube video, right? You can watch any YouTube video. That's public access. Okay, and similarly private is like you have taken subscription of Netflix and you are watching movies on that. That's private, right? So how it happens, you might have wondered that if videos are stored somewhere, they might be having some links. So I'll just directly copy the link and download the video. That's not possible because they are in public storage, they are in private storage. Okay, so this is a private storage. That's why you can see I have this link, but still I'm not able to see the image. How can I see the image? I need a pre-signed URL. Okay, pre-signed URL. So we have a by default generated one. So if I click on open, you can see that this is a URL which you see in every Amazon's product also, right? You can see that we have some tokens here, and no one can guess this, yeah, and it also expires. So even if you get this link, you can't just get this forever. You can't get this image forever. This link would expire. Okay, so you can see that's the benefit of using S3, and I explained you that why tokens are required. So you can see that this is the token, this is the token, this is the image with token. If you have the token, if you are authorized, then only you can see this. If you don't have the token, URL is something like this, you can't see the image. Okay, I'm talking about private S3 bucket. Okay, this is a private S3 bucket with the permissions. If you go to the permissions, you'll see that this is a private S3 bucket. Okay, so if I remove the public access, that means if I don't block the public access, then I would be able to see the image here directly without having the token. But I made the blockage of public access so that not any random user can get my image. Only authorized people which have this token can have my image. So in this case, I am authorized because I have passed this token, so I can get the image. So we're gonna follow this step now, right? So this is done, guys. Now after that, what else you need to do is you need to have the user to be connected to your local Node.js backend. Okay, we have this bucket. Viraj and admin has the access of S3, okay, which we gave in the policy. Everything is fine, but we need to connect that Viraj and admin user to our Node.js backend. For that, go back to IAM. Actually, one more thing, guys. Okay, one more thing, guys. If I go to properties of the bucket, okay, if I go to bucket, and here you can see we have properties. Okay, no, I think everything is fine. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to simply go to IAM. Okay, I'll just go to IAM, and here you can see that if I go to the users, okay, inside this user, I would go to security credentials, and here I would just create the access key. Okay, here you can see I just select the CLI. Okay, and I would select on next, and I understand. Okay, next. Okay, and here you can give tag. I don't want any tag. You can see that now we have the access key and secret key. This would be pasted in my Node.js backend so that I can have communication with the S3. Okay, that means now your AWS would be connected with the help of these keys from your Node.js backend to this AWS account. Okay, so we have simply given the AWS account access from my Node.js backend. Okay, so we have to copy this, we have to save it somewhere. So now comes the very important part. We have to start our backend now. Okay, so let's do that, guys. So in the previous videos, what we have done is we have completed everything. There was a small issue of sockets which I have fixed. Okay, let me just show you that issue. Okay, so I'll just open this code. Can see that this was the backend, right? This was the backend and this was the front end. I'm just gonna open the backend. I'm just going to open the backend here, open an integrated terminal, nodemon, Nodemon. Okay, nodemon, and I'll open the front end also, npm rudev. Okay, one thing which you need to do is which I forgot to tell you in the last video. What we did is in the src, in the app, okay, inside this we have the my files page. You can see that here we were using sockets, right? Here we were using sockets. You can see sockets were used here, right? One thing which you need to do is you can see when connect happens, you can see it's fine. Join self was also done. This was one thing which I added. Okay, notify. So as soon as notify is hit it from the backend, which we were trying to do yesterday, everything is fine. It was just some refresh issues were there, but you can see it's fine. So we wrote this yesterday, but it was not able to notify. So everything is fine once the user hits notified. So it's notified and this would be done, and after that we'll get all the latest files. Okay, you can get the latest file, but right now I'm fetching all the files. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, let me just show you what changes are here today. Okay, just basic change was done, and let me just show you. I'll just open the code in localhost 3000. Okay, so you can see that it's here. I'll again open an incognito window for a genuine purpose. Okay, and here I'm just gonna click on login, and I'll just log in with an account codersub2430. We created this account into our application at J123456. This was the password, right? So I'm gonna log in. अरे हो जाए यार, just a second. Okay, so we have a Axios error. I think, okay, I did one mistake. Okay, so I have to fix the backend URL. Just a second. I was playing around with Virtual, that's why. So I'll just add the localhost 8000. That was the backend URL for now. http://localhost 8000. Okay, so this is where our backend is running. Now it must be working properly. Okay, so I'll just refresh it. You can see right now it's not authorized. Now I'll just try to log in with this account. Okay, so coder sub 2430, password was what? HJ123456, login. So you can see that, guys, now I'm logged in. Okay, so here if I go to my other page, again I'll log in. This time I'll log in with VIRAJJ014 1324, and password was HJ123456. Okay, login. So yes, in the last video we didn't get the real-time notification, but today we are getting this. I'll just refresh and you'll see the changes. Okay, so let's come here, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna split this screen. Okay, yes, so you can see right here I'm logged in with codersub2430, and here I'm logged in with Viraj014. In the right side, Viraj014 is logged in. Now if I go to share, okay, if I go to share, and here I would just type the receiver's email. File name is what? Suppose fl1. Okay, fl1, and here I can select any file. For now I am selecting this file. Okay, so if I select open and send, धोखा दे दिया. Just a second, guys, we did one mistake. Okay,
I'll just open this one again. I'm sorry, I'll just open this one again. Actually, this is some other one. Okay, I'll just go back here, and our project was actually inside some other one. Okay, I've accidentally opened this one. This is not the one. Our main project is actually this one. Okay, so now it would work. Okay, yes, now we'll restart. It would work. Okay, so here we had the backend. I'm gonna start the backend again. हो जाता है यार, कभी कभी भूल जाता हूँ मैं exact project कहाँ पे था. Okay, so and node okay, and let's check the front end. Here we have env local. Yes, perfect. So I'm just gonna open this front end and npm run dev. Okay, run dev. Okay, so you can see that it's here. Perfect. So after this, guys, let's check the pages. So I'll just log in again, and you can see it's here. I'm gonna log in again. So yeah, it's already logged in. We had the tokens. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to share. Okay, now let's try to share to codasub2430. What was the file? So I'm just gonna name this file as fl, suppose 1945. I'm just gonna name it with the time. Okay, now if I select the file, suppose I'm selecting this image, open, send. So as soon as I send this, you can see file is uploaded and now it's shared. So you can see now the receiver would get the real-time message. Okay, so that's the purpose of socket. Here from this page, what have I done is I'll just explain again. From which page? From the front end, we are first of all in the share page. We are sharing the file. So we are in the share page. So I'm gonna go to share page. Here what we are doing is, here we are hitting notify. Okay, here we are hitting notify. So you can see as soon as I share the file, okay, here you would see that I have emit uploaded. Okay, I have emitted uploaded. Okay, so this was done in the last video. As soon as I emit this request would go to the backend. Okay, this request would go to the backend. In the backend, I would go to this index.js, and index.js I have specified that as soon uploaded is called, okay, I would just get the details into my backend, okay, and I would forward it to the receiver. So I've said to the receiver, forward these details, new file shared, and from the sender. Okay, after that we have shown what to the sender. Sender is in which page? Sender is in share page. Receiver is in which page? Receiver is in my file page. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to my files page. So this is for the receiver. So receiver would hit what? You can see receiver would hit notify. This is for the receiver. Receiver would get this message, okay, and then I'll fetch all the files. So you can see that that's real time. You can see I got this file automatically. I don't need to refresh the page. Okay, so till now everything is done, but now we are going to implement what? We are going to implement S3 into this. Okay, for now, what's actually happening here, let me just show you. You can see that if I talk about the backend, okay, if I talk about the backend, here you can see we have the public folder and we have all the files here. The problem with this is using multi, and all the data is stored into our backend. So if I share more files, crores of users are into my platform, so the data would be increasing, the number of files would be increasing, and obviously my backend would be handling a lot of load. We don't want that. That's why we are using S3, which is a separate storage. It's not into my backend, it's a separate storage, right? So I'm just going to delete this public folder. We don't need this. Okay, we have erased everything. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my file share routes. Okay, so you can do the same for auth routes also, wherever we have uploaded the files. Okay, yeah, we were following upload files into this also. I'll fix that later on. It's same as file share routes. Let's implement S3 in file share routes for now. Okay, so I'm just gonna come here. Okay, and I'll just decrease the size a bit. Okay, okay, fine. Right, so here guys, we have to implement our S3. Okay, we have to implement our S3. So for that I have to make some imports first of all. Okay, I have to make some imports. So I'm just gonna go to my backend. Okay, I'm just gonna go to my backend. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go to my backend, and I'll just split out things here. You can see. Okay, and here guys, I'm just gonna type, first of all I need to install AWS SDK client S3. Okay, so I'm just gonna install that. So I'm gonna type npm I in the backend, npm I AWS client S3. Okay, AWS SDK slash client S3. Okay, so you just need to install this into your backend. One more package, that is S3 request pre-signer, to generate a token to access the image or video. Okay, for that we need pre-signer. Okay, so let me just finish this, and after that we need to finish this also by typing npm I pre-signer. Okay, that's it. We need only these two things. Okay, after that guys, I'm going to import this. Now you might be confused what I'm trying to do. So for that, I'm going to mention one thing again. What you can do is you can just visit Coders Hub channel. Okay, you can just visit this channel, and guys, in the playlist section you would find my playlist, AWS playlist. Okay, so inside this you'll understand everything, how to upload files from AWS to S3 using Node.js. Okay, so you can just check out this one. Okay, if you can check out these videos, you'll understand a lot of things. Okay, everything is covered in detail in these videos. Okay, so right now let's continue. And now what we have done is, in file share routes we have to import what? We have to import our AWS client S3. Okay, and from here we have imported this S3 client, get object and put object. Okay, that's it. And then we need one more thing, that is get signed URL. Okay, from request pre-signer. That's it. So after these guys we need one more thing, that is .env. Okay, .env. And then we need one more thing, that is .env config. Okay, now after that guys, remember we have the user data. Okay, we have the user data, we have the access keys and different things which we generated here. So here you can see, okay, I have to reload. Okay, just a second. Yes, so here guys, we had the security credentials and we generated the key. Okay, I'll just delete this. Okay, and I'll recreate the key because I forgot the key. Okay, I'll just delete this. I'll recreate the key. Now I'll recreate this key. Okay, so create access key, CLI, understand, next, create access key, and this is the access key and secret key. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. And similarly guys, this is the secret access key. So access key and secret access key. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that its name is what? This is my access key, right? So this is my AWS access key, ID equals this. Okay, and similarly we're gonna have secret access key, so I'm just gonna name it as AWS secret access key. Okay, secret access key. Okay, never share these keys to anyone. If you paste these keys in your backend and you try to upload images, you will be able to handle my S3 bucket. Okay, so never share this. Okay, you can easily upload things, upload garbage to my S3 bucket. Okay, so that's why never share this to anyone. I'll delete these keys later on, but yeah, just for knowledge purpose, never share this to anyone. Okay, so we have this, and now we need to simply say what is the region. So I'm just gonna say that region is app south 1. Okay, and then we need to type the bucket name. So what was the bucket name? So let me just go to the bucket name. Okay, so for IAM you would see it as global, don't worry about this, but for specific if I go to S3, okay, if I go to S3, here you would see that the location would be changed back to, okay, it's for EC2, I'm sorry, for S3 also it's global. Okay, so yeah, you would just go to bit share bucket. This was the bucket name, right? So I'll just copy this bucket name. Okay, bucket name, and here I'll just paste it. So I'm just gonna say that this is what AWS bucket name. Okay, so I'll just create a variable for that. That's it. Now everything is secure. We're gonna use these variable names. Okay, so just come back here and we're going to set up a few things. We're just going to say that first of all we are using .env to track these envs so that we can get .env variables here. Okay, that's why we're using .env. Okay, now after that I'm just creating an instance of S3 client. So here or anywhere you can create it. So I'm just creating an instance of S3 client. Okay, now guys, inside this, first of all I'm gonna say that what is my region. So I'm just gonna say region is basically AWS region, which we have pasted here. You have to specify the region, then you have to specify the credentials. Okay, so in the credential guys, you just need to specify access key ID, okay, and secret key. Okay, now you have connected to your AWS account. Okay, you have connected to your AWS account and you can have access to the S3 buckets. Okay, perfect. Now guys, what we need to do is I'm going to create one function, and what we're going to do is I'm going to create one function. Okay, let's name this function as what? Const get object URL, okay, equals async, async, okay, async, and here I will provide the key. Okay, whatever is the key. Key is what? Okay, let me just explain you with the help of this. You can see we uploaded the image, right? I told you image or file, any file would be having a key name, so you can see this is the key name. Okay, this is the key name, very important. Okay, so now I'll just give this function the key, okay, name of the file, and in return I'll get what? I'll get what? I'll just give the function name of the file, and in return I'll get what? I'll get the signed URL like this. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so with just the key name I'll get the signed URL. How can I get this? So here inside the key I'll just say that we have a method. Okay, so I'm just gonna say first for what are the parameters to this bucket. Inside this bucket find this specific key, that's what I want. Okay, so once I find this, I'm just gonna say that return, this is a function which might take some time, that's why await. So await get signed URL. Inside this I've provided my S3 client, the details, credentials of the Viraj Jain admin user, and then I created the get object command, call the get object command. Inside it I provided the params. So this would at the end return me what? This would return me a signed URL. Okay, a signed URL like this. Okay, with the token. Okay, that's why. Okay, so now I'm gonna call this function anywhere I like. For example, we have test route here, right? So I'm just gonna say that let URL, let img URL equals, I'm just gonna call this. Okay, so async, okay, actually await. Inside this, guys, okay, I'll just make this uh async. Okay, I'll just make this async. Inside this, guys, I'll just call get object URL. Inside this I need to pass the key name. For example, I pass this key name. Okay, I'll just pass this specific key name. Okay, so inside this I'll just pass the key name, and in return I'll be getting the URL. Okay, so I'll just say in the response I'm gonna be sending the image tag, img tag. Okay, so img, and actually just a second. In return I'm gonna return img tag. Src would be what? SRC would be, I think it would work this way. Let me just check. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll just name it like this. Okay, so basically I'm gonna have the URL. Okay, it's actually image URL. Inside that we are basically going to show inside the img tag. Okay, let's try to run this. Okay, so our backend is running in this API. So I'm just gonna run this API. I'm gonna call localhost 8000. That's my backend URL slash file slash what? Test. Okay, so if I hide this, you can see I get the image. Okay, I get the image. If I inspect, and if I go to elements, and if I show you this body, you can see that we have the signed URL. Okay, this is URL coming from AWS. Okay, so you can see that this is very secure, and it would update in a few times, so that URL is never same, no one can easily access that. Okay, if they don't have access, they can't access that. Okay, so that's the purpose, right? So you can see that now we have the signed URL, everything is perfect, we are able to get the image, but we have to post the image also, post the video also, post the PDF files also. Okay, this is same for videos also. For example, let me just do it for videos also. Here if I go to bitshare bucket, let's upload a video. Okay, from here right now I'm uploading. Okay, so add files, and here I'll just pick some, I'll pick this video. Okay, I'll pick this video. Yes, I'll pick this video. Okay, this video is fine, right? If I click open and select, and yes, I'll just click on upload. Okay, and you can see that it's taking some time, video limit. Okay, so you can see that now video is uploaded to S3. Now what I'll do is I'll just come here, and this is what? MP4 video, right? So I'm just gonna copy this and paste the key here. Okay, but this time it's a video. I'm just gonna say, instead of this, guys, I'm just gonna say that let video, because video would be represented differently. Although you're just going to share link, I'm not going to share elements to the front end, but just for demonstration I'm just using the img tag or video tag. So video URL would be again coming from which function? Get object URL function. Inside that you just need to pass the key name, that's the key name, right? I'm just gonna say that res dot send, and inside that, guys, I'll just show my video tag. Okay, I'll just show my video tag. So यार अब तो मैं भी भूल गया. Video, I guess ऐसा कुछ था शायद तक. Video, and inside this we have source, maybe something like this. Okay, I almost forgot these. Okay, so let me just say src equals what? Src equals video URL Hopefully it must work. Let's check this. Okay, so I'm just going to refresh it. Oh, चल गया. I guess no, it didn't work. Let me just check what's the correct way. Okay. Okay, it's a self-closing tag. First of all, I think accidentally I made it. Mm. Yes, it's a self-closing tag. Okay, it's a single tag. And what else? I think now it must work. Okay, so let's test this again. So I'll just refresh. अरे यार वीडियो नहीं है visible. Okay, I have to give it controls also maybe. So controls controls. So if I refresh, yes, you can see that now, guys, it's here. Okay, so if you play this, you can see that you are getting a video from AWS. Okay, so if I inspect this, okay, and if I go to elements, you can see that we have a video tag which has this source, okay, which has this URL. Okay, so this is URL generated by AWS. Okay, you can see this generated by AWS. Okay, perfect. So you can see that I can easily generate from AWS. Okay, so now this is for getting the images or videos or whatever files you want. But now, guys, what I want is I want to upload files to AWS. You can't do this manually. Okay, you have to do this from your backend. Okay, so for that, what we're going to do is what you can do is actually you can check out this one. Okay, you can check out this video uploading files to AWS S3. You'll understand everything. Okay, how to upload things. I'm gonna do things in short. Okay, so here we have this get object URL. Instead of this, we're gonna have one more function here for post object URL. Okay, so it's like, first of all, I'm gonna generate a location. I'm not uploading the file. First of all, I'm generating a location. I'll get the link of that location. I'm gonna send that link to whom? To the front end. Okay, I'm gonna send that link to the front end. Front end would be uploading file now. Okay, not the back end. So here in the backend, I'm gonna generate a location in AWS. I'll forward that link to the front end. Front end is going to upload file into that specific link. Okay, so here my task is to only generate a link. So I'm just going to say const, just write const, and I'm gonna write post object URL equals async, and inside this request, okay, actually, sorry, it's a function, I'm sorry. Yeah, here we just need to provide the file name. Okay, what would be the file name which you want to upload? Okay, and you can also request for content type, like is it a video or audio or image file, whatever. Okay, so it's an option. Content type is not required, it's optional. Okay, so here after that, I'm just gonna say that once you provide the file name to this one, I'm just gonna say that create the params. Okay, so I'm just gonna create params here into this specific bucket. I want to create a file whose key would be with this name, and content type would be video, image, whatever you want to specify. Okay, after that, I'm just going to return again what, instead of the get object command, we are going to pass it with put object command. That's it. So it's going to return a URL where later on we are going to upload a file. Right now file is not uploaded, it's just going to upload, it's going to provide a location. That means a URL. Into this URL you are going to upload your file. Okay, so right now I'm just getting the URL. Okay, how can I get this? So for example, in test only, I'm just going to get this. Okay, I'm just going to get this. So I'll just say inside test only, I'm just going to say that suppose let video to upload URL. Okay, or let's write it something easier, to upload URL. Okay, so to upload URL, and we're gonna get this from AWS. So await, and here suppose I'm just gonna say that your file name, your function name was what? Your function name was post object URL. So post object URL. Inside this, guys, I'll just provide what? I'll be providing, suppose, the key name. So I'm just gonna say my file, suppose the time is 8:03. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a file with this name. You don't need to provide the extension also. And here also I'm just gonna leave it content type as empty. You can write image, video, whatever you want. I'm just gonna leave it as empty. Now once I do this, I'm just gonna return this res.json. I'm gonna return this to the front end. Okay, So I'm just gonna return this to the front end. Let's try to do this. Okay, let's try to do this. So I'm simply saying allocate the location with this specific key name. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, and the location URL would be sent to the front end. Okay, now later on front end would be going to upload the file to this specific location. Let's try to use this. Okay, so I'm just gonna come back here, and here guys, I'll just go to localhost. Okay, I'm just gonna go to localhost 8000 file test. Okay, so inside this guys you can see that I'm getting a URL. Okay, I'm getting a URL. Okay, so if I copy this URL, right now there is nothing inside this URL. Okay, nothing inside. We have to upload our file inside this URL. Let's try to check it. Okay, first of all I'm gonna go to S3. You can see this is the bucket. If I refresh, you can see we don't have anything here. Okay, we have all the old files. We're going to upload the file. Okay, so you can see I've just copied it. Now I'll go to Postman. Okay, just go to Postman, and here guys you'll do one important thing. Okay, here what you'll do is I have created an API. Okay, I think I have named it as what, inside, I think inside the bit share. Yes, I have created S3. Okay, I have created S3. So you just need to do one thing. Okay, you just need to do one thing. Okay, just make the request as put and then paste your URL here. Okay, I've just pasted the copied URL here, and here what you need to do is by default this would be assigned. You don't need to do anything. Okay, and here you can see authorization is empty. In headers you don't need anything. In the body what you need to do is just select binary. Okay, just select binary, and now inside this I'm going to select the file. Okay, suppose I want to upload which file. Okay, I want to upload, suppose this file, I want to upload this specific image. Okay, I'm uploading this image. If I click OK and send, so this is going to be done by front end. This is going to be done by front end. From back end we generated the location. From front end we are going to upload the file. So you can see now it's done. And honestly it doesn't give any response, so you have to judge that it's done. Okay, if there is an error you'll see the error, but if it's done, if everything is done, you won't see any response here. Okay, that means it's done. Okay, so let me just show you my AWS. Okay, so here you can see that if I refresh this S3 bucket, so you can see we have my file 803 here. Okay, so very great. Okay, so you can see now we have this. Now suppose I want to share this to someone. Okay, I want to show this image. What I'm gonna do is now I'm going to show this image. Okay, by just URL. Okay, I'll save this key name to my database, to my MongoDB database, so that I can get the key name. Okay, so here what was the key name? I'm just going to pass the key name. Okay, and let's see what we'll get this time. Okay, so now if I just refresh, you can see that I'm able to get this image as a response. Okay, perfect. So now if you understood how to get image and how to post images or video files or PDF, whatever you want, you can do this in the exact same manner. Okay, like you, whatever you want, you can do this exactly. Okay, right? So this is not specific to any specific file type. You can upload any specific file. Okay, you can upload PDF, video, whatever you want instead of this image also. That's totally fine, right? So guys, now after this we are going to finally integrate things into our front end. Okay, so let's do this. Just give me a minute. Okay, let me have some water here, then I can continue. Okay, so let's do this finally. Hmm. Right. So now what we're going to do is, here you can see that we have this file share. Okay. So here I'm just going to, okay, leave this test as empty. Okay, this is fine. Now we're going to update these handle file upload things. Okay, we are going to update this. Okay. So remember, now we are going to upload files from front end. Previously what we were doing is we were simply sharing file to backend, then backend is uploading things using multer. But now what we're going to do is we're going to upload files directly from front end to S3. Okay, backend is only giving us a URL, a location, with the help of this put object function. Okay, so let's do this. So here what we're going to do is, here we'll create some API. Okay, here we'll create some API. I was gonna name this API. as okay, I can just name this API here. Okay, so I'm just gonna write here router dot get. Inside this, guys, I'll just name this API as generate. This is basically going to help me for generating things. Okay, so generate post object URL. Okay, and we're first of all going to verify that user is logged in or not, so or token handler. Then async inside this request response next, and guys, inside this I'll just write try, and I'll write catch err. Okay, and we are gonna have error if we have it. Okay, so now inside this, guys, I'll just do one thing. Okay, I'll just do one thing. I'll simply first of all ask for the time. Okay, I'm not going to ask for the key from the front end. I'm just going to generate the time, current time. Okay, current time in milliseconds. Once I generate this, I'll just assume that this current time is my key. Okay, so that it's always unique. Key must always be unique. Okay, so it must be some unique, that is time. Time is unique, right, in milliseconds. Okay, then after that, what I need to do is I just need to generate a post object URL with this specific key name. That's it. Okay, here you can provide the type also, type of file which you want to upload, but I'm not asking for anything. Okay, and after that, guys, I'm just going to return this response. Okay, so what I'm going to return is I'm just going to return this to front end. Okay, the URL which you get, I'm just going to return that URL, and also the file key which you generated, so that you can get the image later. You need to know the key. Okay, so I'm sending the key to the front end. Okay, that's it. So now let's call this API also. So I'm just gonna go back here to postman. Okay, to postman, and what you can do is, okay, I'll just save it. What you can do is you can create this get request. Okay, this is a get method. You can see get method here. What I've named is as generate post object URL. Okay, and you don't need to do anything. You can see in headers also there is nothing, in body there is nothing, in params there is nothing. You don't need to do anything. Send, and here you would see that you, okay, first of all I need to log in. Okay, let me just log in. So first of all, okay, just a second, I did one mistake. http http:// localhost 8000 slash auth slash login. Okay, so I've just messed out some few things. Okay, so now I'm first of all going to log in. So you can see that I'm logged in. Okay, now I will go to post object URL. Okay, and here also we had http localhost colon 8000. Okay, 8000. Okay, URL. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, yes, fine. So yes, you can see that to this specific we have to call it. So if I call this, you can see now I get this. Okay, now I get this. Okay, so you can see that the API is working. I get this URL. Okay, now I get this URL. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send this URL to front end. Okay, front end receive this. Okay, front end receive this. Okay, once the front end receives this, I'm just gonna say to this specific URL, front end is going to upload their file. Okay, upload their file. I'm just gonna remove this, and I'm gonna upload a new file. For example, this time I'm going to pass a PDF. Okay, I'm gonna pass a PDF. If I click on send, you can see that now it's sent. Now let me just show you AWS. If I go here, if I go to bucket, you can see that this is the file just now uploaded. Okay, if I show you this file, you can see that this is the PDF we uploaded right now. Perfect, that means everything is working. Now what we need to do is we just need to call the APIs. But one more thing, guys, we need to make some changes in the share file. Okay, so inside the share file, now this time upload is not happening using multer, so I'm just going to remove this. Upload is done by front end. Okay, to the backend only the key name would be sent. Okay, so key name would be sent, so I'm just gonna ask for file key. Okay, file key would be asked from front end. Okay, that means the location would be easily gotten by the file key just. Okay, then the file type would also be asked by the front end. That's it. Okay, now after that, guys, I'm just going to say that we really don't need this. Okay, we really don't need this. I can just skip this part. Okay, because we are not using multer. Similarly, we can skip this part also since we are not using multer. Okay, and similarly, guys, we can skip this part also since we are not using multer. And after that, guys, what we need to do is we would simply say, instead of this file URL, instead of this file URL, I'm gonna say that we have file URL would be file key. Okay, and one more thing, that is file type would be file type. That's it. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and I'll just gonna do the same thing here. That's it. Okay, so now front end is doing things. Okay, front end is uploading the file with the help of our post sign URL. Okay, that's it guys, and now everything is same. I'll just go to models. I have to make one small change. In the user model we have this file schema. Okay, in the file schema I have to make one small change. Okay, so I'll just make a little bit change. Okay, you can just add file type. Okay, you can see file type is added here, and rest everything is same. Okay, so you can see rest everything is same. Now we're going to just comment out this file upload. We don't need this file upload from multer. Okay, so I've just commented it out. We are not going using this, we are using S3. Okay, so we don't need file multer. Okay, perfect. So now you can see that the APIs are also here. So what we need to do is we need to check this into our front end. Okay, so let's open our front end. So this is our front end. Okay, into our src, into our app, into our my files, actually into our share page. We are sharing things from here, right? So from here, this is the upload function. Okay, handle upload function. So I'm just commenting this out. I'm recreating this handle upload. Okay, so const handle upload. Okay, handle upload equals async. Okay, async, and after that I'm just going to write things here. Okay, so yes, in the front end what you need to do is, first of all, you need to generate the signed URL, right? You're going to generate the signed URL. So for that guys, we created an API generate signed URL, right? So we're going to call that API from front end. Okay, so let's call that API. Okay, I have to create one function out of this. So what I'll do is I'm just going to create one function for generating the. Okay, I'm just going to create one function. This is going to call which API? This is going to call my generate post object URL API. Okay, so let's come back here. Okay, and inside this I'm just going to say that fetch request. Okay, inside this I've just provided this same, which would give me what? This would give me signed URL. Okay, so I would simply say as soon as I call this function, it's gonna give me signed URL. If data is okay, its data is okay, I'm just gonna return data.data. Okay, so let's call this function. Okay, so I'm just gonna call this function. I'm just gonna say that let, first of all, I'm just gonna say set uploading would be true. This would start uploading, which would show uploading animation. Okay, set uploading as true. Then after that I'm just gonna generate the URL from calling this function. Okay, let s3 object URL. Okay, so first of all let's test this. I'm gonna print this. Okay, so I'm printing this URL. Okay, you can see I'm printing this URL, which I get from here as a response. Okay, and also get what? File key also. Okay, so I'm getting both the things. So I'm getting both the things, but right now I'm just printing signed URL. Let's test this. Okay, so I'll just go to my localhost 3000. Okay, now I'll just go to this. So login 23456 login. Okay, so you can see now I'm logged in, and after that guys I'll just go to share. Okay, I'll type the receiver's email, I'll type the file name. Suppose right now any random file name would be fine, and suppose this file I want to upload. If I just inspect, let me just show you the console. So as soon as I click on send, you can see that I got this location. I got this location. Inside this location we are going to upload our files. Right now our file is not uploaded. Inside this location we are going to upload our file. Okay, and yes, so for that what we're going to do is we are returning it to the front end. Okay, that means we are returning the URL. Now to this URL is stored inside this. To this URL, to this object, actually inside this we have the URL as well as what, as well as both the things. We have the URL as well as the file key. Okay, so inside this S3 URL object we have the file key as well as the URL. So we are going to say to this URL we are going to upload things. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create one function, okay, which is helping me to upload things now. Okay, so I'm just going to say that const handle, okay, const upload to S3 URL. Okay, upload to S3 by URL, actually by URL. Okay, so I'm just gonna say just ask for the file, just ask for the URL. Okay, just ask for the URL which you generated. Okay, just ask for the URL which you generated. And you have file, where is your file? Your file is basically inside this hook. Okay, so you don't need to ask for file, you can just ask file directly. Okay, so I'm just gonna say to this specific URL you want to upload your file. So what you're gonna do is you're just going to say, first of all, set uploading is true. Okay, set uploading is true. And then I'm gonna say my options would be what? I'm just gonna say that this is put method and body would be file. Here you can see that this was a put method, and inside body we have just passed the file. That's it. Okay, put method body file. And then what you just need to say that to this specific URL you are calling options. Okay, that's it. Now you can see that now to the URL generated from here. Okay, we are gonna upload the file. Okay, we're gonna upload the file. Now since we upload the file, I'm just gonna say that if it's okay, if uploaded, then I'm just gonna say true. Okay, else we're gonna say false. Okay, else we're gonna say false. Okay, that's it. So now let's test this. So first of all, I'm gonna say that if S3 object URL is not here, so I'm just gonna say error would be thrown. That means set uploading would be false. Okay, and one more thing, now let's extract the file key from the S3 object URL and also the signed URL from the S3 object URL which you got. Okay, now I'm gonna say that S3 URL would be called to this function. So this function would be called. Okay, this function would be called. Okay, inside this I have provided the S3 object URL. Now inside this function I got the S3 object URL, that means the location, and also have the file. I have uploaded the file to this location, then I get true or false. If file is uploaded, I'll get true. Okay, so now here what I'll say is, if file is not uploaded, so I'll just say set uploading is false. Okay, but if file is uploaded, then I'm just gonna say, for now I'm just gonna say toast.success file uploaded successful. For now I'm just saying it like that. Okay, let's come back here and now let's test this. So if I go to share and suppose this is the receiver's email, file name, suppose this is the file name for now, and suppose this is the file which I want to upload. Okay, I'll just choose some unique file. Okay, so I'll just choose this one, or I'll choose this audio. Okay, I'll choose this audio. Okay, my old audio. Okay, so I'm just going to select this, send. There is some problem here. You can see that this origin has been blocked by okay, so for that what we need to do is we need to go to the bucket. Okay, we need to go to the bucket, and guys, in the bucket I'll just go here in the permissions, can see that here we need to give some policy. Okay, course policy. Okay, so here for that what we can do is S3 bucket course configuration local host, something like that. You can just search for this and you'll get some kind of permissions. I think you'll get this. Okay, so what you need to do is you can see that they have provided us, or else what we can do is here I think we must get an option. Okay, anyways, I'll just come back here and I'll look for some documentation. Okay, confirm course. Okay, yes, you are just going to copy this. Okay, just going to copy this, that's it. So you don't remember things. Okay, you just need to copy policies and paste from anywhere else. Okay, so you can see I'm allowing this get and head methods, authorization, and what's my front end URL. So here you're going to paste your front end URL. Okay, right now my front end is in localhost 8000. Suppose in future you host your front end to something like instagram.com, google.com, you have some domain name, right? So you have to add your domain name later on. Okay, so right now I'm just saying localhost colon 3000. Here your front end is available, right? So let's test this. So now after this you can see it's added. Now let's test this again. So I'll just go to my front end, refresh, and let's go to share, email, file name. Let's choose this audio file for now, click send. And right now there is one problem, HTTP. Okay, I think it might take some seconds. What I've said is http colon slash slash localhost 3000. Okay, I think it's gonna take some time maybe. Let me just search for this. Okay, let me just search for this. What I'll go do is I'll just say that okay, this is not allowed from origin, course is disabled. Okay, so I'll just copy this for now and I'll check for the error, exact error. Okay, if I just refresh this, let's test it again. Okay, it might be taking some time. Or okay, I'll just choose this one for now, click send. Okay, still there is some issue. Okay, what's the issue? Course issue. Okay. Let me just search about it, okay? Just a second. Can we भैया फेस 50% कट गया. अरे यार भूल ही गया था मैं और शिफ्ट हो गया. Sorry. Okay. Can we integrate both method as soon as upload file return authorize? Yes, we are integrating both methods. Just a second, let me just check the course policy. Error message indicates that to resolve this you need to configure your S3 bucket. Okay. If you have S3 configuration, go to AWS configuration and write this configuration. Okay. Let me just do this again. Maybe I have missed out something. You can see that this is the front end URL localhost 3000 and एक बार और ट्राई करते हैं. We'll try once again. Okay, I think we'll try once again. Let's do it. Okay, so now if I click on send, fail to fetch upload to ST. Okay, let me just check यार क्या problem है. Here we are calling the function, okay, and we are making the method as put. Okay, what I'll do is I'll allow access from anywhere for now. Okay, so I'll just go to my bucket and here I'll just update the things here. Okay, so I'll just click on edit and I'll just say that allowed origins is any origin. Okay, any origin. Okay, yes, actually one mistake. It's not for authorization, it's for any origin. Okay, so here I have to add the origin. Okay, so I'm just gonna say allowed headers. For this header, everything would be fine. Now I think the error would be gone. Okay, API response contains invalid character. Okay, I'll just say that allowed headers would be star for now. Let's test it. Okay, let's test this now. Okay, now I've allowed it. Okay, so now I'm going to refresh again. Let's choose the file again. So file, name, and then the file. Now if I click on send, uh, still I have this issue. I am doing some mistake, maybe in the policy. Okay, I'll just edit this. Okay, I'll just paste this policy. Okay, so I'm just saying that allowed origins get head. I'm allowing everything. Okay, I'm allowing everything. Okay, now if I click on save changes, now I think it must work. Okay, let's check again. So these policies are, you have to check the policies, then it would work again. So let's choose the file, and now if I click on send, अरे यार, has been blocked by, okay, didn't pass the access control origin. Okay, anyways, I think this is the last thing which is remaining in the S3 part. So guys, what we'll do is we'll fix this in the next video. I think time is also up. So we'll fix this in the next video. Only one thing is remaining to allow the origin. I have to check for the policy which suits well with this. I think I'm missing out something. So I'll check that, right? So guys, I hope you understood this video. We almost covered the S3 upload part. Only one basic thing is remaining, that is the policy, which is giving me this course error because of some kind of policy, or maybe in some time it would just go, because right now we just updated this, so maybe it would go. Okay, I think it would go in a while. It would take some time to just apply this course changes. Okay, so we'll see that in the upcoming video. I'll explain what is the issue, then we'll fix that. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood this video. If you want to check out AWS, if you want to know more about that, you can just check out this specific playlist. Okay, you can visit my channel Coders Hub. Here I have uploaded a playlist, so you'll understand AWS with some concepts are explained here. Now after that, 9 p.m. right now, after 15-20 minutes, after half an hour, we basically have a session here. So you can go to Geeks for Geeks channel, and in the live section we have a session right now. Okay, so you can see 5 people are already waiting. So yeah, you can watch this session if you want, and this is totally for front end, and we're just going to use Open AI API. Okay, so we're going to use that. Okay, so talking about this BitShare project, I have uploaded it to my GitHub. Okay, let me just show you my GitHub profile. So github.com/viraj014. Here in the repositories, you would find what TypeScript Next.js GFG. Inside that we have bit share file share MERN. Okay, you can check out this repository, you will find all things. Okay, source code would be available here, right? So that's it for today, guys, and we'll cover the remaining part in the next video. I hope you understood this video, the S3 logic which we are trying to implement. Only one course is remaining, so we'll implement that in the next video, and the final is uploading the backend, hosting the backend somewhere, so that's also remaining. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.